Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Genetics. On today's episode, I have Godwin here at Beyond the Genetics. Godwin is a nutritionist and is a member of the Little Cell of Mind Foundation. Godwin, thank you for being here and welcome to Beyond the Genetics.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Evie.
Okay, so how did you hear about the Little Cell of Mind Foundation?
I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw like a paid ad or something, advertisement on mental health checkup for sickle cell patients. I clicked and I found about the foundation and I joined.
So why did you decide to join? What was the reason behind you doing that?
Of my life, at that period, I was not mentally sound. I was thinking of a lot. So it's just as if the angels sent that message for me, mental checkup and whatever, free mental checkup.
So how your experience in the foundation been so far?
It has been amazing. I did my first webinar with you guys, my first ever. I've never had a webinar and it really taught me a lot. So it has been amazing.
Well, that's nice to hear. So let's go into your life with sickle cell disease. What does what does being a cell warrior mean to you?
Warriors, like for me, I feel it's like starting the game so late, but with much experience because of your pains and your struggle you have to go through. You gain more experience on the way. So being a cell warrior is like extra learning, improved learning experience.
When you say starting the game so late, what do you mean by that?
Not like so late, like in a relay or in a race now. Everybody is out the front and we are just behind.
Okay. So how's your life living with sickle cell? How has that been so far?
I would say, if I do say so myself, it has been really stressful from societal pressure and to, how would I put, stress of trying to meet up or mental issues of not being enough. So a lot has been hard, but it has been amazing also because due to my condition, I don't like open up to everybody and I don't know, I've been highly selective with my friendships and relationships through. So I feel that's a plus for me.
Why would you say that's a plus?
I don't know. So I don't go through the stress of, how do I say it now, backbiting friends, or I don't easily make friends. So I usually scrutinize and go through everybody before I make friends because of my illness. Because some people, once they hear your sickle cell and they're already stigmatizing you and doing some shit. And sorry.
So it just makes you more picky in terms of like who you let into your circle. Yeah, I think I can understand that. So what kind of challenges have you experienced and how do you deal with those challenges when you experience them? Like you have particularly said that life has been hard, and so I'll just assume that, there've been certain challenges in your life. Like, is there anyone that has sort of like stood out? How do you deal with them when you experience those things?
There's one particular, when I was growing up, I actually wanted to be a designer or something. And the struggle was not with my parents and they're telling me, hey, how would I put it now? You're a sickle cell, you can't do this. How would you be machine tailor, machine? Which kind of designer be that? You need something that won't stress you and all those kind of struggles. And from school too, it was always hard. The Nigerian schooling system. From classes, I have to go to classes like 8 to 5 during my 100 level and 200 level. And I also have to keep up with the average persons. I will have to keep up with them, do assignments, work under the hot sun. So those are enough struggles to mention.
Yeah. So how do you deal with those kind of struggles? Like the one that you specifically mentioned about not like being told that you cannot do what it is that you wanted to do just because you had this disease.
I dealt with that one. I just found another thing that I love. I went to it. They said I should go for nutrition. I told them nutrition. I brought up nutrition. Since I cannot do designing or stressful event planning, because around that area I wanted to go. Since I can't do that, I found food because food has always been my partner since I was small. So I found food and they said, okay, nutrition, I should go for it. And then they were even thinking it's just nutrition that they're teaching you food. But I don't know. We complemented the event planning, but thought it was going to be easy, but it wasn't easy to study in school.
Yeah. And do you ever regret that decision, like changing from, the event and designing you wanted to do to now being in nutrition?
I won't lie. Sometimes, like when I look online and see people planning parties or designing clothes, and I'm like, maybe if I enter this field, I would have blown early. because nutrition is really hard. And imagine it's really hard when to convince Nigerians about nutrition.
Yeah. It hasn't really been our basis in terms of cultural basis. Yeah. Nutrition hasn't been that thing that's always just stood out. It's just right now, like in this time, in this period, more people are paying more attention to what they eat and what they do and exercise and being healthy and all of that. But I don't think it's too late for you to go into designing in that area of life if it's really what you wanted to do. So you can think about it and maybe make a decision on that. So would you say that your life has been limited by this disease?
Yes and no. I don't know why I said yes, because there are things I should have maybe learned, or maybe I would have been good at, but I didn't even try, because then I was never allowed to try anything. It was always indoors, sit down, eat, and do whatever. But why I said no as a limiting area, because while I was sitting indoors, I tried to grow myself. I was more with my computer, so I learned a lot at an early age, but not a lot as it seemed. But I learned Excel, I did Microsoft, Google Workspace, and that's what is needed now in this current age. Most people are going online, most businesses are going online. So I feel I'm not really lacking what I'm lacking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you could pinpoint an area in your life where you feel like having this disease has made it harder, what area of your life would you pick?
Let's say relationship or school. I would say school for now, not relationship. Not really a relationship type. Maybe it's this disease that made me not be a relationship type, but this sickness. But I feel school is much harder, because since I want to face nutrition, I want to go into lecturing, I want to go into touching people, nutrition students, bringing up the next generation of nutritionists and public health specialists. So, and schooling, I can't start thinking of schooling in Nigeria. For another issue, I can't go pass through that struggle of my bachelor's. So going abroad for schooling is something I feel may be really tasking for me, or even limiting for me, because of the cold and everything. I've already even prepared my mind. If I ever go abroad, that the first year I will fall sick and I just need someone to follow me. I don't know, I'm trying to make my plans.
Well, having that kind of mindset already sets you back how many feet now? You can't have that kind of mindset moving on in life. If you let sickle cell, limit the things that you feel like you can do. I mean, it's bad enough that the whole world is telling you that you can't do this, you can't do that. But once you've let yourself believe that I can't do this, I can't do that, or if I do this, I'm going to fall sick, then that's exactly what's going to happen. You have to move past that point where sickle cell is something that you have held, it's something that is limiting you and something that you have let limit you. You have to move past that point. So having that mindset is something that you need to change. You can't have that, if I go here, I'm going to fall sick within the first year. No, you can't have that, because people are doing it. People are living in areas where, medically they've said, if this happens or that happens, it's going to trigger a crisis. Most important thing is paying attention to your body and knowing what you need to do to avoid those triggers that would lead you to have a crisis. So the mindset is something that you need to change in order to let yourself a bit free, because it feels like you are being tied down by sickle cell and you've let what others have told you that you cannot do and you cannot be a part of. You've accepted that for yourself and it has tied you down, and you've let yourself be in this space where, I can't, if I go out, this will happen, so I'd rather just sit inside. And you're missing out on so many things that you can be a part of and you can make changes in. So I think that you need to change that mindset. I know I went a bit off points, that was supposed to be part of this, but I just felt like I needed to say that because it sounds so you can't let things limit you, and you just can't do that because you just find out that you're living in a box all this time when you could have been doing amazing things. So you've talked about the harder things, the parts of life that has made harder. Now, what is the one thing that you would pinpoint that it has made easier or it has sort of like improved your life?
Yeah, it's sort of improved my life. Okay. When I say I'm a lazy person, I don't say lazy because lazy is kind of a harsh word to say for sickle cell, but I love the baby boy life, the petting and the, oh no, he's sickle cell, just leave him. And sometimes I don't really want to do it. So like, I just leave him. I'm like, all right, leave me alone. And it has given me my space. Sometimes people don't really include me in things. That could be bad at times. When I was growing up, it was terrible for me. It's an improvement for me. When I was growing up, it was terrible for me. Like, they're not adding me. But now I really don't mind because those who add me to something will add me to something. And I'm an introverted person that I don't really like going out, especially for outings. When no, he's outing or he wants to do something, don't worry. Let him stay back. It'll help my decision-making process easier. Like, most times I know my body say I should not swim and people want to take me out for swimming and someone just bring up, no, you cannot swim in sickle cell. Like, oh, yeah, I was just fine. Just please let me be. I don't know. That's my plus for me.
So you have let sickle cell become an excuse for you in doing things. So it's like a free get out of jail free card. Like a get out of jail free card. Like, okay, he has sickle cell, leave him alone. And you're just like, oh yeah, thank God, I have sickle cell, please leave me alone.
No, I'm not saying thank God I have sickle cell. I'm saying thank God that you put want.
No, but it's like, that's almost what you are saying now. It's like, yeah, I have it, so please leave me alone. No, I don't even want to even enter water before self. So let sickle cell has saved me. Oh. Like, that's what you are saying now.
I don't know. That has been an up for me. And another thing, in school, it always helped me. This is going to sound selfish too, because I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but it has always helped me.
You have used it as an escape.
I'm not. It has always helped me too in school.
Well, escape.
When I'm in a long line or something, I bypass things a lot in school. Oh no, he's not feeling. That's what they usually say. He's not feeling fine. Come forward, and I'll do my things and go home. So it has helped. I was starting my process. I'm just trying to look for the...
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess, if you have to suffer the pain, why not take advantage of it, Abby?
Yeah.
Because that's what you are doing right now. Well, okay. So would you say, like, in society now, like everything you've experienced in school and just like living life, would you say like there's a negative life on sickle cell patients? There's negative light?
Yeah, I feel there is, because awareness is increasing every day. It's just like awareness is increasing for the bad. I went somewhere someday and I told some dude that I was sickle cell, and he was like, hey, you're sickle cell, and so I was kind of, there's no pity. I don't know.
Wait, are you looking for pity?
I'm not looking for pity. Like, don't confuse me. Yeah, I'm not looking for pity, basically, but it was just so blunt. I was like, are you the first one to have sickle cell? But I don't know. I'm sounding so selfish now.
So what exactly did you want him to say when you said you have sickle cell?
I don't know. At least don't be that rude. It was not, I would like compassionate enough for me.
So you wanted him to be like, oh, sorry, how are you feeling? So what is it you are looking for? Like, you need to actually identify what it is you want.
Okay, I don't know. I don't want it to be that plain. Like, you should not make it seem like we're not going through stuff to like, just sickle cell.
Okay, you feel like he was maybe dismissal.
That's how it made me feel. Yeah, he was just dismissing, like, what is the difference between him and a sickle cell person, yeah.
I think I kind of understand what you're trying to say. So it's like, be aware of the disease, but do not sort of like...
dismiss it.
Yeah, dismiss the challenges or the pain that comes around the disease.
Yeah.
I think there's kind of like a fine line between those two, but, I understand what you're trying to say. So how do you sort of like change those negative lights that you have experienced, or in those situations where you have experienced like discrimination, or have you actually experienced discrimination?
Yes, a lot now. I said it, but now I'm over really not looking into it. When I was growing up, I usually loved, I don't know, debates and stuff. And for silly reasons, my class teacher or form teacher then would be like, no, you're sickle cell, you can't debate or you can't do... Yeah, they'll push me aside. I was basically just like a doll. Maybe they even made me enjoy using it as an excuse. But I don't know. Then it was so annoying because I'm like, even though I can do this now, But no, yes, no, you're sickle cell, go to the side, just watch. Don't do this, don't clap, you're standing too much. Don't watch. It was so annoying.
Don't clap.
Ah, there's nothing I've not heard from my primary school to secondary school.
Don't clap. Wow. Like, what's clapping going to do? It's going to make yourself sickle and then close your face or whatever.
Because I was very slim when I was small. But I just see that as an excuse, though.
But it's possible that you let it be your excuse for things that you do not like to do anyways.
Yeah.
Not necessarily things that you like to do. Because now when you're talking about debate, which you said that you love, and someone is talking about, oh, you can't debate because he's a sickle cell patient. You seem to have a problem with that. That was hurtful. But then if it's about swimming, like you mentioned, you're like, oh yeah, I'm sickle cell. Like, you get, that one wasn't really like a big deal. So it seems like you use it as an escape for things that you don't like to do, but in other things you feel like, oh yeah, if I like to do this, then sickle cell shouldn't limit me. I think that kind of like makes more sense than, using it as an all-round escape to stay home.
No, I don't use all-round escape.
Yeah. So how do you, like, when you experience things like that and, like moving forward from that, how do you now change, what do you do to change that person's view, or how do you educate them? Do you have a conversation, or what do you do to just make it better, like in the future, if they get to meet someone else that is a sickle cell patient?
Okay. Then when I passed through those things, when I was little, I really didn't do anything. So I just cry myself to sleep or something. But nowadays, all my friends, I make sure I educate them, all of them. I'm always talking about, like, I'm not ashamed of it anymore. Then they made it feel as if it was a big deal. You're dying of cancer or something. So, but these days, I just like to teach all my friends, like everybody around you, make sure you know, make sure you have educated yourself that these are the things you should not say. I flared up for my best friend someday and he saw it as nothing when he mentioned something like, you're too lazy, because I was getting tired just because I was working, and he said you're too lazy. I flared up on him. And I was like, what is it? And then later I explained, can't tell me things like that when I'm not in the mood, especially when I'm really tired and you're coming to tell me I'm lazy. Are you all right? So, I try educating people as much as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just that some things are more sensitive to, people that are struggling with, even if it's not even sickle cell, like, person can be struggling with any other thing. And some words are just more sensitive, especially when it's a bad day. Maybe you're not just having a good day that day, and someone just says something as little as, why you're always tired, can just make you be like, what, like, what's the meaning of that, and this and that, you get. So those things happen, really. It happens, like, and you might just be tired from just like your body just giving you a sign that maybe you're going to have a crisis or something, and someone comes and says something like, why you're always tired. You just turn into from 0 to 100 real quick.
But funny enough, my friend actually did learn. So these last days of our school, he was always knowing the signs before me. Himself, you look at me and you're looking stressed. Come, let's go and sit. And he knew everything, because it was like he hates when I complain. So I feel the education works at times.
Yeah, the education works to people that listen. If someone is willing to listen and someone is willing to learn and educate themselves, then educating that kind of person, it works. But if someone is stuck in their ways and it's like, this is what I know and this is what I'm going to stick with knowing, it's like you're talking to a blocked ear, so it's not even, person isn't even hearing you. So if person is willing to listen and the person actually cares about you, then they put those things into practice to actually be better in your life, like a better support system, a better friend, or a better partner. So is there any particular moment in your life that has stood out, or any particular experience in your life that has stood out?
It's still in my education, and it was bad, but it stood out, and it was the point that almost drove me to kill myself or something. I don't know, until I started learning better. 300 level, like just back my 300 level, I had the course. I was scared of extra year and the tension of people like, oh, you're going to get extra semester, you're going to fail. Look, mostly of our senior colleagues are just trying to just put in the whole fear in our body. So I did everything possible to read. I went to tutorials, I went out. So I was mostly not well prepared anytime I go out. I'll carry my stockings and stuff, but I don't know, I guess the mosquito and everything that affected me during the exam preparation period brought me down immediately. Exam started. On Monday, I had a paper and I felt ill in the morning, 5 o'clock. I was just waking up to go for the paper and I felt sick. I missed like 5 papers or so. And I went to school after my mom came to school because she came to take care of me. Because everybody was writing exams, there's nobody to take care of me. So after a while, we went to the department and started begging for a rewrite. And we got, I don't know, a very rude answer and very annoying answer. I was so angry with myself because our 300 level was level we had the most scores. Like out of the 24 credits, we had 24 over 24 credits, like no space at all. So imagine doing 24 credits courses and you're failing 5. That means my final year there was no space too because it's 22 credits there. I was just pissed because I really didn't want the extra year after the fear, but I actually did get it because they didn't help me at all. Imagine going to my IT in second semester. I was not happy. I was in Abuja and I was terribly down. And I was in my auntie's place, so she really didn't notice. She doesn't keep the sign. She's always working. So I was just alone there. I really almost killed myself. And around that period, my friend that used to take care of me in school, this friend actually was with my mom every time I had to. When I was sick, that exam period, he was with my mom. He was always coming by after his papers. He died during the second semester, and I lost it all. It was hard. It was crazy, and I didn't even know what I was feeling anymore. So yeah, that 300 level was the moment that stood out in my life. I don't know. People say I turned darker. I started seeing things from a dark version, dark humor, dark everything. I don't know. At least I didn't kill myself. I grew out of it, but it was really, really, really hard.
That's a lot for someone to take, really. It's just a lot for one person to handle. So how were you able to deal with the mental aspect that came from, the whole issue with school and because of falling sick and all of that, and now your own personal life with having to lose someone that was so close to you?
If you ask me, I really do not know. The years just started going by and I found myself adjusting and think I was really, it comes at times though, but I don't know, I've been strong enough to fight it off. I'm a rational person, according to my mom. My mom always telling me I overanalyze things. So I guess I overanalyzed the suicide and what it means. And I talked myself out of it because there's no one to talk to, really. Everybody in Nigeria, mostly people of our age, are either trying to form a bad boy or strong man that we don't do emotions. We're just here to hustle and whatever. So I had to be there for myself.
Yeah, and would you say like having go through therapy now and having the opportunity to be professional, has that helped that area of your life and your thought process?
Yeah, kinda. It has, because I really didn't want to do anything concerning nutrition, but I don't know, is it last year, since I joined, I just find myself wanting to do things. I was even thinking of auditioning for The Voice. Like, I hate shows. I hate anything live. But now I'm having the confidence that, okay, I could actually go for The Voice. I could actually audition because I sing at times. I could actually make video myself without that self-consciousness of, oh God, see how I look.
Yeah.
No, I feel I'm improving.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. And, like when you gave your talk on nutrition, was that like a couple months ago, right? That as well would have helped you, come out of that shell where you feel like you couldn't do certain things. Because I know that time you were very nervous about what you're going to say, how you're going to talk, and what if you mess up and things like that. And I was just like, what, just calm down. Like, everybody goes through this phase. Life is all about learning. Even if you make mistakes, you forget what you're supposed to say. Tomorrow you do it again, and then you learn from whatever it is that you messed up in today, and you just move on. It's all about growth and doing better than the previous day.
I feel I'm growing and doing better.
I mean, it's a good thing. As long as there's growth, that's a good thing, really. And I'm really happy that at least you might not have gotten to the point of, total oneness and wellness and all of that. But being in that process of getting there is also a very big win as well. So you should notice that and be proud of yourself for taking that step. even just deciding to join a foundation that is talking about mental health, that in itself is a huge step as well, because there's a thing of, like you're in a dark place and you're so down and you know that you are down, but not every time do you just want to take that help that is being offered. So just taking that help as well is a big step. So I think you're in the path of the right direction.
Yeah, thanks.
So when it comes to like sickle cell, like what's the thing that you're most scared of?
I don't know, dying. Dying early without fulfilling anything. That's what I'm basically scared of, not general dying. Like dying too early that I don't make a mark. Because I feel like with my dark humor, according to what people say, I want to make a mark with that. I want to explore. Like I can't just come and not explore nothing, not be known for nothing. That's my greatest fear. Just dying and I've not done anything. I've not explored anything. I've not helped people. I've not seen the world. That thing is really terrifying for me. I've not have a child. I always want a child. Like even if it's one, I've always loved children. So I don't know. Those things put together, I really do not want to experience it.
Mm-hmm. And what has been your scariest crisis? Have you had one that was like, okay, this has to be it, this is the last breath?
Yeah. Last year, we actually thought it was COVID because everybody was saying it's COVID and I was not recovering. And this is the longest, up to a month plus. I've never been admitted because my grandmom is a nurse. So I've never really been admitted, except for the time I did my surgery in India. Apart from that, I've never been admitted. I was always treated at home with my foods and everything. Once I'm not sick, my mom, no, put pepper soup. For this one, I could not even eat pepper soup. My mom was really afraid. Like, I could not open my eyes. My fingers were tingling. I was cold easily. Everybody was scared. I don't know. I feel that's the scariest. And it just happened last year.
Yeah, that's like the peak of the pandemic period. I think you said this early on, Shabo. Are you quite open about talking about sickle cell? Because I know like sickle cell patients and most people are not really open with having conversation about sickle cell or being a part of the conversation, or even just to their friends.
At first, I wasn't, to be honest. Like, would I say 2018? During that period of my 300 level, I was not even interested. I was say the word. I don't know. I started learning, and I don't know, the stigmatization. People were putting too much stigmatization to it, saying, no, and sickle cell. I just started thinking about it, like, what's actually wrong with saying I am this? Am I going to lie in church? No, don't say it. God forbid, spit it from your mouth. Like, I'm sure I spit it. What the hell? What is spitting from my mouth? Am I going to spit it from my blood? I don't know, nations, people have already put in our head. I feel that's why the society, most sickle cell people are afraid to say it, because they say, no, speak positively. You are not. Say you are not in Jesus' name. I'm like, but I have it in my blood. I go through the crisis. You do not go. It's really funny.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. It's like if you say it, then you're making it real. But then, even if you don't say it, you still get sick. You're still admitted in the hospital. So why exactly this thing you're talking about is not even working? Also, when you went through all that point of, that whole denial or whatever, how did you now get to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm not even playing this game again. Like, I'm just going to accept this and then live my life and, move forward from that.
I don't know. I started going, during that period, I started going more online, seeing more people like accepting and living their life. I saw gym instructor as a sickle cell. I was like, wow. And he was proud of it. It's a thing to be proud of, but he can't change it. It's in him. And he's a gym instructor, working and teaching. I saw chefs. I saw things that they told me I can never be. I saw a chef that works in a really hard one hotel like that. And he's cooking. Do you know how hard that work is? Comfortable, cooking, happy with himself. I'm like, what am I not to? What are they telling me to spit it from my mouth for? Guys, see, I started thinking general. I love thinking wide. And I started thinking like, Nigerians, we usually have this bad mindset towards everything. It's not really one thing. So I started thinking, how can you break out from your societal chains or the things that society have pressured you to learn, even if it was right or wrong? Started trying to find out what actually is right and wrong. with everything, with all general topics. So I don't know. I started exposing myself to learning people, having discussions, and from there I was comfortable saying it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, really. That makes sense because it all depends on like what you expose yourself to, and that affects you mentally. So if you expose yourself to people that, like you said, you were going into research, if you expose yourself to people that are doing great things despite living with sickle cell disease, then you are able to look at yourself and be like, so if this person can do it, then what am I doing with myself? So it pushes you and it sort of like gives you that motivation to want to do more for yourself as well, which is great. So, I mean, and I'm happy that you got to that point because even a lot of sickle cell patients are not there yet. They're still in the phase of denial. Me, I went through my own phase of acceptance, denial, all of those things. And I'm finally at a place where I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want to do and then bring light to the things that people can do despite living with sickle cell disease. Like, it's not your limitation. It just depends on how you see it. If you see it as something that, stops you from doing things, then it's going to stop you. But if you see it as something that, it's not my limitation, this can actually even be my strength, then that's what it's going to be for you. And then you just have to really know your body and listen to what your body is telling you. And, know when to take a break, know when to relax, know when you're doing too much, know when to sleep more, and just pay attention to your body and pay attention to the signs. And you'll be able to do, I don't really think that there's anything a sickle cell patient cannot do, really, in my own opinion. Like me, I'm a doctor. I work 12-hour shifts or sometimes even more. I think I've even worked like 24-hour shifts straight before. Even like weekends, you stay in the hospital, you're working from Friday and you close on Sunday and on Monday morning. From Friday evening to Monday morning, I've worked in a hospital where that was the shift and I was able to do it. So, yeah, you work from Friday from 5 p.m. and you close on Monday 8 a.m. That was it. You're in the hospital the whole weekend. So I'm like, I know there was a point my mom was like, you need to tell them to reduce your shift. I'm like, why the heck go and tell somebody, oh, I'm a doctor, but please, I cannot work this shift you're giving me. I'm like, no, I've never been that person that limits myself regardless of what's happening in my life. I've never been that person. Like, I work like I would work normally. I work hard as, I want to, or as hard as I let myself. Yes, I work. It's what my own personality is, what I have defined for myself. So this is the standard I have set for myself. I've set a standard for myself that I'm going to work like this. I'm going to be a hard worker. I'm going to dedicate myself to anything that I have decided to do. And I'm going to do what it takes to do that. So now, whatever it is that I'm doing, whether it has to do with my foundation, whether it has to do with like my medical life, I give it like my 101%. So it doesn't matter like what I'm doing. I just give it my all. Like, I don't let anything limit my life. I live like I don't even have sickle cell. You get, it's not something that, oh, I have this, so I can't do this. No, I'm going to do it despite that. And I'm going to stand tall and be myself and be amazing. So that's just how I live my life. And it's not as if it was something that happened overnight. It was something that I had to go through this whole process of because I feel like in order for you to get to that point where you're doing amazing in your life, you have to have experienced this level of acceptance within yourself. Because if you're still struggling with that, then you're not able to be your full self, and that just really limits you in a lot of ways. So so anyway, that's that. So has living with sickle cell, has it sort of like affected your dating life? Has it made it harder to make that connection or meet people and
Kind of, because I don't know, I'm a very picky person. People like I can't that's been the major factor when choosing a girlfriend or partner rather, somebody to date. Because if you can't take care of me, I mean, once I'm not feeling fine, I'm like warm. I need the whole hot water bottle, constant feeding, fine and everything. And if you can't do all those,
so you're literally looking for somebody that will baby you. That's it.
kind of. Not just when I'm not feeling fine. But if you can't do all those things, and there was somebody who was 200 level, was looking at me when I was not feeling fine. I felt so irritated. As I got well, that was the end. Like, it ended. Like, no more. No, I can't do that. It's like, I hate when somebody look down on me when I'm not feeling fine. It gives me face, or, I don't know, complains too much for my own complaining.
You're a nutritionist, and you've talked about how that has even been harder than what you even initially thought of, in terms of like your parents saying, oh, you should pick something lighter. So how has nutrition helped you? Because you have more knowledge on it now. And how has that helped you in dealing with your crisis, dealing with sickle cell, and how have you been able to also balance your life, doing the things that you need to do, and also just having to experience crisis and things like that?
Okay. I don't know. It has made me more aware of my body. Nutrition made me more aware of my body, because if I'm not eating well, my body will tell me once. In my place here, where I say I'm a protein advocate, because I don't know, growing up, I really didn't like protein or meat or anything. But now I'm a protein advocate, because protein really helps, how I put it now, in the formation and whatever. I don't want to go into but it really helps. And growing up, I was not a fruit person too. So growing up, I was like, not really into nutrition, but nutrition helped me because of, when we were not feeling fine and we have to build blood. And my mom was not really a fan of blood capsules. So our blood transfusion, what she does was ugu and steamed tomato, I guess, that works somehow, because I get myself after taking it. So from there, I started noticing that, foods can also help. Then we'll bring turmeric and black pepper for pain sometimes, because I easily grow resistant to some pain meds. So sometimes I'll just go through the pain as it is, then take turmeric and pepper to at least calm it down. I don't know, I started learning.
You say turmeric and pepper?
Yeah, turmeric and black pepper.
Okay, what does that do?
And it helps with, it does not as strong as pain med, but it helps reduce pain.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I don't know. It exposed me, generally. Nutrition exposed me to knowing my body. Now, if I'm not eating my body, once I'm not taking fruits in a while, I'll get a signal. Either my nails will start aching me or something. And once I take it, I'll be fine. Sleep, wake up, I'll be fine. So now I'm trying to reduce the amount of pain meds I take by improving my nutrition and everything. Basically, because if you improve your nutrition, you reduce the amount of pain you get or crisis you get in a year. And having more knowledge in nutrition is easier for me to do these things. Because sometimes it seems as if I'm over talking when I eat here too. Because I eat a lot. It seems as if I'm overeating, but it doesn't. And just one day I was having an argument with somebody that firstly my metabolism is high because of this, and the person was telling me that no, you're just using an excuse so you can eat a lot. You too like food. You're looking for an excuse to overeat. I was like, why? Where is that coming from? I said, he says, no, they didn't. My roommates back then, they did not agree with my point. They're always like, Rookie likes to eat. Godwin eats a lot. But I don't know. I love food. I'm a foodie before a nutritionist. So.
So have you been able to now balance?
Nutrition really help.
So balance the things that you do and, just self as in living with sickle cell as well.
Balance. I take breaks a lot and I don't play with my breaks anymore because I'm tired. Because I've grown will I say tough skin? Well, I've grown a tough skin for their insults or talk or whatever. Once I'm tired, I just walk out and go rest. My rest is important to me. My sleep, I have a deadline, then I'll walk over, then I'll still have to make up the sleep somehow. But I'll make sure I sleep. I love sleeping. I love taking my rest. Sometimes I may not be even sleeping. I just to be on my own, then meditate. I don't know. That's how I balance it all, because sometimes it can be crazy. Mostly when there was a time in school we had a course, so we always walk out. There was this course we did. It was an outside activity course, so we're always outside talking to market women or talking to people, going to people's house to talk to them. What I'll do is get a partner who will switch. I'll start first. I always start first. So as I talk, I'll switch to my partner and rest till I'm about to go home. So I don't know. I didn't miss my rest anytime. That's just what I do every time. Find wet. Even I may be sitting down or just laying down. I can be working with my phone, like writing an article or designing something for somebody. but I make sure I'm not overstressing myself.
These are actually good tips to achieve balance, with life and just living with a disease as well.
No, don't forget to drink water. I always drink water. And it seems water is hard for people to drink. I don't know.
Yeah, so because of the taste, well, honestly, I just feel like water is tasteless and, it's nice because of the fact that it's tasteless. So because of that tasteless taste or I don't know, but it was like, because someone had explained it to me why she didn't like water. It was just because water has no taste and then it's just bland.
Well, everything doesn't have a taste.
Yeah, but there are things that you can do. Put a bit of flavor in your water. You can drop like a little bit of Ribena as well in it. When you're trying to flavor your water and like mixing with Ribena, you need to make sure that you're not drinking Ribena. You're actually drinking water. So the ratio to Ribena and water, the Ribena needs to be very small in comparison to how much water you are giving, because you're just looking for that flavor. And I know that there's actually some water flavors that you can just drop a couple drops in your water and gives you this flavor.
Funny enough, I don't like.
I've actually never tried them. Yeah, I've actually never tried them really. I mean, I like Ribena. If I'm drinking Ribena, I'm drinking Ribena. It's not because I want to drink water. That's why I'm drinking Ribena. I've never had a problem with drinking water. So people do actually, and flavored water is for those that can't tolerate drinking water, flavored water. Because there's no alternative to drinking water. That's it. Like for food now, it's different. There are different alternatives to certain foods. You get, I don't like apples. There are so many other fruits that you can. But now there's no alternative to water, because even if you say you want to take like drinks, the water quantity in those things are very little. So, and then the sugar quantity is very high. So at the end of the day, you're taking sugar, carbohydrates, and you're not actually even like drinking water. The water you get from it is very little. So there's really nothing you can do for drink water. So what has been your greatest strength so far? Like living life, all your experience, what has been your greatest strength so far?
When I say my greatest strength so far is my strength itself, like my strength to push through, my determination and will, and I don't know, my determination and will to learn, to push through, to be better, not to stay at the same point. And for that, I feel that's what sickle cell has also helped me with, because I don't feel if I was a regular person, I'll be able to like think through and whatever. My rationality, the way I can ration things, has been my greatest strength during this period, because it's not easy.
So if you could go back to tell your younger self something, that's one advice that would have helped them to cope better with life and with just, being handed this disease very early on, what would be that one thing that you would want to tell your younger self?
Don't rush everything. Listen to people around you. Too much sugar is not good. I don't know. Learn to think things through. I feel when I was younger, I didn't think things through. So I'll tell him, learn to think things through. Make sure your decision you're taking, but that is a period of wild decisions, but just make sure you're that's the period of wild decisions though. But I don't know how to convince him, but I'll make sure to tell him that make sure you don't hurt yourself in anything you do. Mentally, physically, make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I don't really think that there's a way to stop yourself from taking those risks and those, youthful choices, because it's all just make adulthood a bit better. So when you have those things to look back to. But yeah, it's good advice. I mean, that's if you listen though. Like it's good advice. So what would you like to tell like listeners and other soul warriors? What's the one thing that you would like to say to them?
Take your nutrition serious. Basically, I feel if I go abroad, if I start my thesis, I'm so focusing on sickle cell and nutrition, because in the society now, we don't take our nutrition serious. I don't know if it's because of our economic status of most of us, or we just don't care. You see people going out for the risk. I'm talking people, myself included, because when I was little, I just closed my mind and like, let the risk come, we'll take it in. But take your nutrition serious. Always make sure you know what you're putting in your body. Make sure you know the risk. And since I started taking my nutrition serious, I stopped carbonated drink. I cannot do that because it has always harmed me. I've stopped ice cream for up to 10 years because ice cream is my major trigger. I've stopped most fizzy drinks and anything. So more now, how my sister called it now, say I'm local. As I'm eating, everybody's asking for, can I have cupcakes or something? I'm asking for J pepper soup. I always go for the pepper soup first. Every time. Or J yam. Or can I have? Just make sure you know, be conscious of your nutrition. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. And you have a podcast as well that talks about nutrition and, things like that. So you can, what's the name of your podcast? You can drop your information to those that...
I've not done sickle cell yet. I feel I will start introducing it gradually. But the name of my podcast is GI Nutrition. GI then Nutrition.
So for those that are listening that would like to know more about nutrition, follow Godwin on his talk on nutrition and his journey with nutrition, can check out his podcast, GI Nutrition. It's actually a good listen and a great listen as well, and you definitely learn something from it. So we have come to the end of this episode of Beyond the Genetic. I just want to say thank you for coming and agreeing to do this, and I wish you all the best in all the things that you want to do with your life.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed the session.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening. Bye.